Hello, people of YouTube. This is Gray's Guitars, and thank you for watching. I am Steve Gray. Today we are going to be talking about an interesting topic that I thought I would bring up, and that is, how many guitars do you need to actually own? How many different types of guitars do you actually need to own? Pickup combinations, things along those lines. So starting with number one, my personal favorite, the Epiphone and the Gibson Les Paul. I feel like everybody should have a Les Paul because you got your set neck, arch top, double pickups. If you can find something with push pulls to give you that single coil noise, that is greatest too. But I think everybody needs some sort of solid body guitar with a pair of humbuckers in it. Doesn't necessarily have to be a Gibson Les Paul. You can do a Gibson SG, Gibson Explorer, Flying V. Pretty much most of the guitars in the Gibson line meet the qualifications for a solid body guitar with typically a set neck. Number two, everybody needs a Fender Stratocaster. Let's be honest. It can be a Squier, it can be a Fender, it can be an off-brand. Everybody needs some sort of Stratocaster style guitar. It can have a tremolo if you want it to. It doesn't have to have a tremolo. This is also a bolt-on neck guitar, so there's that option as well. You got your single coils. My personal favorite Strat is probably one of these styles right here. I love me an HSS Strat. I never really cared for the bridge pickup in a Strat anyway. Always loved the neck pickup in a Strat, as most people do. But I've always wanted that humbucker tone in the bridge, and it's even better if you can split the humbucker in the bridge, maybe get a phase switch or something in there. You're good to go for the foreseeable future. The next one, also a Fender Telecaster, and I do have one of these. Not that I show it very often on the channel. There are a million different styles of Telecasters, but this is the golden single coil bridge pickup. There's really nothing like it, just the way it's designed, the way it's made with the metal bracket. You can't really find something that sounds exactly like a Telecaster bridge pickup without actually having a Telecaster bridge pickup. The neck pickup in the Telecaster, I can take it or leave it. It doesn't sound bad by any means, but I definitely prefer the neck pickup of the Strat overall. Maybe put a Strat neck pickup in a Telecaster and see how it sounds like. I'm sure that has been done. Going on to number three, you need some sort of hollow body guitar. Some sort of bluesy hollow body. It can be a Gretsch, that's what came to mind, with the Fulltone foil pickups in them. Very different sounding pickup than your traditional Gibson or Fender style humbucker, and it's got that classic bluesy kind of country feel going to it. You need some sort of hollow body. The next one is kind of a combination. You can choose to have both, or you can choose to have one. So that is a guitar with EMG pickups, either EMGs or Fishman Fluence Moderns, possibly. It doesn't have to be Fishman Fluence Moderns, but Fishman Fluence, some sort of active guitar pickup. This guitar is going to sound very, very metal. To me, the big difference for Fishman Fluence pickups, that advantages that it has over the EMG, is that it sounds to me similar to an EMG, but at the same time you have more tonal options with the splittability, things along those lines. But at the same time, if you're looking for EMGs, there's nothing quite like having an EMG 8185 pair in your guitar. Nothing really can touch that sound. It's always going to sound like an EMG no matter what guitar you put that in. And then there's the Fishman Fluence pickups as well. Next thing I would recommend is an extended range guitar. So this doesn't have to be an 8-string. The reason I put an 8-string in here is if you're going to buy a 7-string, you might as well get the 8-string, because why not? If you're going for one extra string, you might as well go for two. 9-string, 10-string, those are more novelties. If you want one, go for it. But it's nice to have some sort of extended range guitar in your arsenal. I did at one point, got rid of it, and now I feel like I want possibly a 7 or 8 string again if I can find one for a decent price. But at the end of the day, it's not something you necessarily need. Not everybody likes it. You can get some of the fan fret action going on too, but you don't always need an extended range guitar. But if you want like almost every option available in your collection, it's good to have an 8-string lying around. Next, who can forget about a nice acoustic guitar? You gotta have acoustic guitar. How else are you gonna play Wonderwall? You know, how you gonna impress the ladies if you can't play Wonderwall on an acoustic guitar? This can be a Martin, a Taylor, whatever brand you want to. Highly recommend getting one that you can plug into an amp, especially if you plan on doing shows. But you need to have some sort of an acoustic guitar in your collection. Next option we have is a floating tremolo. So this isn't like a Strat style tremolo. This is a floating tremolo with a locking nut. You can either get a Kaler, which I have images of here, or you can get a Floyd Rose, whichever you prefer. I am personally have been fighting with my Floyd Roses forever. I may buy a German one. I've never had an official Floyd Rose. I've never had a Floyd Rose 1000, which is made in Korea, or an original Floyd Rose, which I would prefer to find one of those, which is made in Germany. I always seem to have problems with the lower grade ones, no matter how well I seem to set them up. Not my thing. I don't really use it too much, but it's always good to have one of these in your collection, some sort of guitar with a floating bridge on it. Next is going to be a guitar. Now these are mini humbuckers. You don't need to have mini humbuckers, but the reason I pulled up the Firebird is because they are neck through. So we've already seen a set neck guitar, we've already seen a few bolt-on neck guitars, but having a neck through guitar for sustain, there's really nothing quite like it. You ever pick up a Firebird? I picked up a few neck throughs. I think it was I had an LTD. That was a neck through, and just the heel joint is always beautiful on them. You can get right up to those 24 frets. If you choose to do 24 frets or 22 frets, that is up to you, but it's always good to have a guitar with 24 frets as well. Next on my list is going to be a baritone guitar. So you want to get those big chunky chugs, you want to be in a deeper octave. There's a baritone 12, that's something different. It is a good idea to have some sort of baritone guitar in your collection. And last but not least, you need a 12 string. Let's be honest, you can solve this problem with a Gibson double neck if you'd so like to, but you need some sort of 12 string guitar, whether it be acoustic or electric or both if you've got the money. There's a nice Rickenbacker if you can afford one of those bad boys. You need to have some sort of 12 string in your collection for the foreseeable future to make a nice, you know, collection overall. So these are all the different types of guitars that I think that you actually need. Now, if you were like, oh, you know, I want more guitars than that, or oh, I don't like that style of guitar. You don't have to buy that style of guitar. I'm not saying you do. I'm saying if you want something where you get almost every option from every different angle, I think these are all the different types of guitars that you would actually need in your collection. So let's count the total here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not going to count 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip that one. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So between 11 and 12 guitars. If you want to do both the Fishman Fluence and the EMG, they're both active pickups. Don't necessarily need both of them. But if you want to get every single option that's pretty much available out there, or close to it, you're looking at about 12 guitars altogether, and I think that is a good number. I mean, I don't think, in reality, nobody needs more than one guitar, but we all know we all have a problem, and we want more than one. I've had more than one for the longest time. I didn't even get into basses in this video, so I am just talking about guitars, because basses, similar options too, with all the different styles for basses. But if you want pretty much everything imaginable, minus getting different style humbuckers, obviously there's going to be, you know, 4 billion different style pickups out there from every which way and variety, and you are more than welcome to swap them. If you have one of those fancy guitars that you can swap pickups in super easily, go for it. Me, I'm going to keep buying Les Pauls and everything that looks like a Les Paul, probably until the day I die. I do love me a single cut, let me tell you. My personal favorite being the 2017 Gibson Les Paul, let's see, HP Blueberry Burst. This guy right here, I want one of these. I really do. I just love this Blueberry Burst color. It doesn't have to be a 2017. It doesn't have to be a high performance either. You know, I need me a Blueberry Burst Les Paul one of these days. I don't know why I put an HP. A lot of people hated these things. Nobody likes the robot tuners. That is the major downside to a lot of these. Nobody likes the CB, the circuit board inside the guitars as well. A lot of hate on those, especially in the 2017 models, but you got to admit that is a nice finish on a guitar. So there you have it. Let me know what you think. If I missed any guitars that you think you should absolutely have in your collection, let me know down below. If you're talking about shredder guitars, that is kind of included in the EMG and Fishman Fluence and Tremolo line. I assume if you want a shredder guitar, it's probably got EMGs or a Fishman Fluence and probably has a Floyd Rose or a Kaler on it, most likely. Maybe it's a hardtail. Some people want a string through as opposed to a hardtail, which is fine. You know, whatever your preference. This is Gray's Guitars. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, and feel free to comment down below what you'd like me to do for future guitar and music related videos. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.